So there's something that's been on my mind lately, and it's actually the relationship between fans and the artist, because I feel like a lot of fans are being way too harsh on the artist and giving criticisms that aren't really constructive, but just hateful. And I actually recently put out a tweet on this, and I wrote, Chance the Rapper did not fall off, Roddy Ricch did not fall off, Drake did not fall off, Young Thug did not fall off. We need to stop this trend of trying to write off talented artists after just one of their albums doesn't hit the way that we wanted it to. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like there's too many internet trolls that are bashing artists after one mediocre release and writing off all of their previous success just because it's fun to pile on and to go with the popular narrative at the time? Because that's the way that I've been feeling, is that the relationship between fans and artists is changing, especially within this new day and age with social media. It's a very interesting time because if you think about it, artists are way more accessible to fans than they ever have been before. And with the free distribution of content, you could also say that fans are also way more responsible for the success of these artists, because think about how much an artist demands out of a fan. Think about how much they push through their social medias. For example, pre-order my latest album, go watch my latest music video, go stream my new single. And these artists, do have and should have a voice when it comes to speaking on the projects, because they're the ones supporting them. They're the ones listening to them. They're the ones that are paying for this material. So how do you feel about the current state of this relationship between fans and artists?
It's a very, very weird place right now, and I feel as if a lot of people are having a very hard time at separating the music from the person. Like, that's one thing that I've been seeing a lot in the community right now. And listen, we critique music on a weekly basis here at NFR Podcast, but I mean, the goal of our videos is never to go in and bash someone, and we've never done that on the channel. Like, to go in and completely try to attack someone personally should never be the goal online. And at that point, you're not even being constructive. You're not sticking it to the music, and you're not even having a conversation about the music. You're trying to make fun of that person, and you're trying to bully them online. And regardless of how much success, money, stature that person has, when you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people at your neck every single day, when you open your phone talking about how bad of an artist you are because you've dropped one mediocre project, it gets to them. It gets them into a place where it's dark anymore. And how do you expect those those types of artists to want to create anymore? And it's also, I feel as if people have to be able to understand that there's going to be artist evolution. There's going to be growth within certain artists. Not everyone could have Kanye's discography. Not everyone could have a GKMC or a Tip of a Butterfly. Like, there has to be room to grow. And this is what we were talking about with the Roddy Ricch situation, because Roddy Ricch, fell victim of this very recently. And after Live Life Fast released, everyone knew it was a mediocre project. It didn't hit it didn't hit as it was supposed to commercially. It didn't do the same numbers as his debut. His debut was much better of a project, but there was people genuinely trying to go at this man and trying to, kind of make him feel it like, I would say, kind of portray him as a fraud. And that's what I feel as if is dangerous to the culture right now, is like, these artists are not frauds, bro. These people are the ones that are pushing the culture forward. They're feeding their fans. They're trying to come out and do it. Then listen, it took him X amount of time to release that debut album follow-up. It didn't hit. Fine, critique the music, say how you feel about it, but when you're trolling this guy and pushing him to that brink, why do that? Why have to get to that? I mean, I understand the internet could become a very dark place, but we have to be able to separate the artist from the music. So how do you feel about this current situation now, and how do you think we could do better with understanding how this Roddy situation has gone down, and even the Chance the Rapper situation, because that one gets me very frustrated as well.
Listen, I think it's absolutely ridiculous when you think about the way that people are pushing this fucking narrative that Roddy Ricch fell off after just one release. Like, are we going to ignore the fact that he had a diamond record on his debut album and multiple multi-platinum songs on that same album, and the fact that it was the most streamed album of 2020, and that he is very talented at that? Because if you think about how unique his voice is, bringing in these gospel inflections, having some of the slickest melodies in the game, while also being able to make trap bangers like Start With Me or PETA. Like, Roddy Ricch was covering all bases in 2019. And listen, I get the frustration with Live Life Fast. I understand that he took a lot of time with it and didn't deliver and meet the expectations.
We had those frustrations.
We did have them, but you got to be able to have that discourse in a constructive manner and not hating on the artist. Because even after Live Life Fast came out, Roddy Ricch had posted a snippet, and if you look at some of the comments on Twitter, people were saying, you know, he forgot how to make a good song, or stop making music, or you fell off. Like, we should be nurturing these artists. We should be supporting them, because they're the future of the music that we love. Roddy Ricch is 23 years old. We have to be embracing these artists and giving constructive criticisms. That way that they can grow and develop into even better artists in the future. Like, if you're a fan of Roddy Ricch, because a lot of these people that are hating on him were big fans of Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. That tweet that took you 10 seconds to post is crashing down on someone's, work that they took years crafting, just in one tweet.
I know it is
sad.
It is a sad situation, and again, I think that people have to understand how to critique, because I also feel as if there's this culture right now where everyone wants to be a critic and everyone wants to put out their stuff, and we encourage people to critique music. I mean, it's the whole culture, right? And when you're an artist, you have to expect that, right? Like, people are going to talk about your music. I mean, if no one was talking about your music, you wouldn't be selling fucking records. And that goes without being said. But there's a way to do it. There's a way to be respectful about it and keeping it to the music. Like, within all of those tweets, I didn't hear anyone talk about production styles. I didn't hear anyone talk about his writing. I didn't hear anyone talking about his vocal performances. I didn't hear anyone talking about the track list length. I didn't hear anyone talking about features. I didn't hear any of that. All I heard was, you fell off, stop making music, and you haven't dropped a good song in like 3 years. Bro,
Yeah,
what?
that's crazy.
Like, how does that even make fucking sense? That's not a critique at that point. At that point, you're trying to make fun of someone. And I feel as if a lot of people with the whole "you fell off" thing, are you out of your fucking mind? Roddy Ricch comes to your city. He is selling out that biggest fucking venue, no doubt, for a night.
Absolutely.
Same thing for Chance the Rapper. And we were having this fucking conversation with Coleman.
Speak about Chance.
Listen to this. Chance the Rapper goes to Boston. He is selling out the fucking Garden, bro. 1,000%.
For sure.
He came to Montreal a couple of years ago. He sold out not one night, but 2 nights at the fucking Bell Center. These rappers are falling off? It doesn't make sense to me, because when you say someone is falling off, it's literally saying that there is no more worth to their career and people are completely disengaged from the music that they're putting out. So by that standard, Chance the Rapper releases an album. You don't think he's gonna have multiple songs on that album that are gonna hit over 30 million streams? Come on, bro. Stop. Like, people have to understand where the fuckery needs to stop. Like, it's, again, start critiquing the music. Stop attacking these people personally. It's as simple as that. So get into the Chance the Rapper conversation, because I know how you feel about this. I mean, we're obviously not fans of, The Big Day. Like, that was really a disappointing album, but Acid Rap, Coloring Book, these are important projects to the 2010 decade and the development of rap music. Chance's influence could be heard everywhere over the music industry right now. And to completely cut him off because of one album? Come on, bro. That's at least where I'm at with it.
It's blasphemous, honestly. And what's crazy, too, is, a lot of the times when we're critiquing an artist on that level and just getting really hateful about it, especially when you're looking at one album, because with Chance the Rapper, he dropped... he had an amazing run up to that point before dropping The Big Day, but people lock into this fucking recency bias where they block everything else out and they just focus on what came out right now, and they try to sum up and try to redefine that artist and base it all on one project. And that's what they did with The Big Day. And the hate for this was really awful, because people were trolling him online. People were complaining that he was dropping too many bars about the love he had for his wife. Like, are you fucking serious? That's what that guy's living right now. The guy just got married. He's in love. Let him showcase that. Let the guy be happy. Why would that be a critique? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many reasons to critique a project, but when you're going to be pinpointing and making fun of what's inspiring people in terms of what they're writing...
No, that's not cool.
It's not cool at all, man. And what's interesting, too, is that there's also this culture online, and it's that mob mentality where one person forms a narrative, somebody else jumps on the bandwagon, and other people start coming in, and then this narrative that Chance the Rapper is a corny artist blows up, and it ends up being cool and trendy to support that narrative, the same way that it was cool to say that Logic is a corny rapper, which is not true. But people like to follow the sheep and go with this narrative that might bring you a couple of laughs because you're putting an artist down.
Well, you know, another big thing about social media is I feel as if the community thinks that they're 100% of the fan base, when in reality, like, let's say those 100,000 people that are speaking, even if it is that many, which is probably not, you probably get how many comments in a comment section? Maybe 5,000 to 15,000 at max. Max. And how many of those are bots right now? And how many of those are just people tweeting? Bro, that doesn't even represent a fraction of the amount of people that are listening to this music and that are enjoying it. Think about it. If there wasn't that much hate from, let's say, all of the community on these artists, would we even be having these conversations right now? No. Why are they still releasing music? You know, do you think the record labels would allow these artists to continue releasing music and continue pushing them as, you know, artists? Or, you know, would they be doing it themselves if no one was listening to it and everyone felt the same way? No. But the problem is that 0.1% kind of has the biggest voice within that fan base because they're loud, they get in your face, and it gets really hurtful at times. And another thing is that when you critique, and this is something that we've learned through podcasting, right? And like, you know, going through the whole motion, and, you know, we're students of the game, and like, you know, we really just like to go into an album and say how we feel about it. People have to stick it to the albums, and I cannot stress this enough. You know, like, if you're not going to talk about the things I previously mentioned, why even leave that comment at all? Why have this conversation when you're not even having the right conversation? Like, at times I'll go through a comment section, and I try to stop doing this because sometimes it gets way too toxic. Like, it has a bad effect on me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these comments and I'm like, dude, this is fucking hurtful. You know, like, why leave this? And people are not even having the conversation that's at hand. You know, like, example, like, Academics had posted your thing, right? And XXL had done it. I had gone through the comment sections, and people were just like, Chance definitely fell off. That's not even the conversation right here. You know, like,
how is that constructive?
How is that constructive? You know, like, give a reason. You know, point out a production style you didn't like. You know, point out something in the types of vocals he was laying down. You know, that's constructive. That an artist could go back and reference. But it must be an absolute mindfuck for the artist as well. Because think about this, man. This might get crazy. Because as an artist, right? You're going to these platforms. You're going to, let's say, YouTube channels like us, and we know that artists watch this, and, you know, we know that they come here to be able to understand certain critiques and understand how the community is feeling. And all they end up seeing out of reception is those types of empty sort of hatred, sort of comments like, you fell off, you did this, you did that. What do you want the artist to take out of that? There's nothing to be able to grow off of, and it must be a mindfuck for them, because at the end of the day, they're left like, yo, what the fuck do I do now? You know, like, no one's actually commenting about the music. People are just attacking me and my character. How does that help someone? It does not help someone. It
doesn't at all. And honestly, God bless you guys, because our community is very focused on being respectful when it comes to critiquing music, the same way that, you know, I think we are as well. So I'm just happy that we're kind of all like-minded within the community. But going back to what you were saying, that raises a question for me is, how do you think the artists should respond to this type of criticism? Because when I think about it, the way that trolls function and the way that bullies work is that the more you show that you're sensitive to this criticism, the more that, you know, you end up attracting more of that hate, because you're constantly defending yourself. You're kind of, you know, holding up that armor and showing people that you need that armor. So do you think that artists should use this as fuel to push harder and to prove the doubters wrong? Or do you think that they should be very transparent about the fact that it is affecting them?
Oh, that's a good question. I like this. Okay, so everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to respond to energy in a different way. I mean, the way you would probably do it is different from mine. But if I was in that position, I mean, it's hard to say, because it's easy to say like, oh, just ignore it all and do that and don't let it affect your craft. And that's probably what, you know, 99% of people are going to say. But I think what people have to understand is that those trolls don't even take it personally. Like, they're just there for the game. Like, they're there for the entertainment. Like, when they shut off their phone, they're back to their lives, you know, like, they don't care about you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's actually a good thing, low key, because if they don't care about you that much, then nothing's really personal.
Don't value their opinion.
There's literally nothing valuable to their opinion. They're just there because they're trying to get the top like comment. They're trying to get the clicks. They're trying to get the valuation. Imagine, like, And this is also going on a bit more of a personal route. Like a lot of people that troll and hate online, it's because they feel something empty from themselves, and they need to be able to compensate from that in comment sections. And then they come through and they're like, you know what? Let me get a couple of likes today to boost my self-esteem. And the way they do it is through, getting those quick reactions, getting those top comments, and then boom, you're the top of the comment. Wow, this feels good. And then you have that dopamine rush. And then like they're in the zone and they want to do it again and again and again and again. And what happens is it becomes like a drug. And then you just have all of these people that are hooked in onto negativity, and then they find people they could attack in the community to be able to continue prospering this, which is fucking harmful, not only to the artist, but to them. Because at the end of the day, all that energy is being stemmed from them. But
I think it comes down to artists having to go to the right spaces and being a part of the right communities to gain the proper feedback. Because I'm sure artists, it's inevitable. Like you hear it all the time where even, let's say, actors say that, the New York Times just put out a review and they spoke about their performance in a film, but they won't read it. They don't care about that shit. But at the end of the day, it's almost impossible not to get a sense of how your art is being received. And what I think is that the more popular you become as an artist, the more naturally you will have millions of people listening to your music. You have to understand that there might be a really good portion of that's going to fuck with the music, but there's always going to be that small fraction of people that don't mess with the music. So you have to kind of learn to embrace that and to take in criticism that is constructive and that is relating to the music and not attacks personally. So it's a very interesting conversation, but I think that what we have to do as fans is be respectful to the artist, keep it to the music, and create these environments, if it's in comment sections, if it's on a platform like ours where we're able to really keep it to the music and, just give artists advice, or at least just give them our perspective on how we interpreted the art and what we think could have been improved, what we think worked on a certain project. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing fun about going through a comment section and reading fucking nonsensical hate that has no real value, because it doesn't.
And it doesn't have any value towards the music either, because you could promote critiquing. You could say, guys, like, let's get involved in the conversation. Let's have a conversation about the music. Let's dive in. Let's see how we feel about it. Let's nerd out. Let's try and sit in that chair. As fans, let's actually have some fun and have a good conversation about this, like you would do about a sports game. But I think that people have to understand how to do it in an educated manner and not just be here in the community just to be able to take up negative spots. Because, again, like, yes, it is a small fraction of the community, but that small fraction of the community has a very, very, very negative impact on these artists. And I mean, we've seen it in real time. We've seen it recently with Roddy. We've seen it in the past with Chance the Rapper. And there are probably so many fucking artists that feel the same way. And I mean, even Drake in his Rap Radar interview, he said it. He's like, anyone who says that they don't feel that, they're lying to you. Of course you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
It's impossible, dude. Like, you're seeing it. It's in front of your own eyes. It's in real time. You're witnessing it go down. How aren't you going to be able to see that? And I feel as if also there needs to be boundaries now. People need to understand what they're talking about. You can't go into a comment section and drop, the you fell off thing or this or that. It has to be calculated. It has to be respectful. Your online presence nowadays is very fucking valuable. It is, because there's so many people online. So make sure you understand what you're saying and make sure what's coming out of it. So, I mean, listen, it's a great conversation to be having right now because we need to create awareness around this. We are the community. We are the people that are critiquing this music. And at the end of the day, we are the people that are, purchasing this music. So if there is a way to do it, it has to be positive. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about this whole conversation, and let me know, what you think needs to be changed in the way that we approach critiquing, as a whole. Like, should it be, more based on certain areas? How do you guys feel about this whole conversation? Plus, we're doing all kinds of narrative pieces like this on the podcast. So, we just did a video on is old music killing new music. That was super interesting. We also did something on is trap music dying. That was a great conversation. So, you guys want to stay tuned with all of that, please hit the subscribe button. Plus, we have a lot of cool stuff going down on our Patreon plan, a lot of exclusive content, live album reactions, exclusive videos. So if you guys want to access that, the link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and we'll catch you in the next one.